A tick, a ticky tock. What's up, guys? It is what is it? It's a Wednesday night. It's a Wednesday night. Wednesday. We already got Matthew in the chat. We got Big Blue Forever already in the chat. We got Mr. McCormick already there saying, good evening, family. Good evening, OBB. How are you doing, Tim? I'm doing well. Can't complain. Well, actually, you could complain, but I'm getting a giant news notification right as we speak. And it says, what to look at for your Sunday matchup against the Rams. I know what to look at. We're looking at Tyrod Taylor. We are bringing it back. We are rolling it back old school because you know what that means.
Who's he? The OG QB.
Oh, yeah, we're bringing back the OG QB. Mr. Weaver. Long time no see. Where you been? Happy holidays. Hope we draft a quarterback. So do I. Colin says, glad to make a live stream tonight. Colin, you've been missed as well. Where have you been? Mr. Jackson's also in his house saying it's the ghost of Christmas future. I'm hoping it's a ghost of something. I'm hoping that I'm hoping we beat the Rams. I'm hoping that we beat the Eagles. I'm not one of these people that are like, let's just tank. Well, let's just tank. Well, you know. There's this misconception among Sun Giant fans. You can literally trade up into the first round. You can, if you're 6, you could trade to 2. Hell, you could trade to number 1 overall. Like, it reminds me of Ricky Bobby. You ain't first, you're last. And Ricky Bobby's dad looked at him and says, what the hell are you talking about? That doesn't make any sense. You could be 2nd, you could be 3rd, you can be 5th. Hell, you can be 6th. So just because you are there doesn't mean you don't have the opportunity to move up into the draft to get to your quarterback of your needs. The skyline is in the house. I'm just trying to figure out, though, and I was thinking about this. There are numerous amounts of intelligent Giant fans. Most of them subscribe to this channel. And the whole Tommy DeVito fiasco, the whole Tommy Cutlets, the whole thing with that. I mentioned it, I don't know how many times, and I kept saying it even after that first win. This is going to fail, and this is going to come this is going to come crashing down to earth in a bad way. Because of the fact that you saw all those things that he was getting away with and all the things he couldn't do even after that first win. But everyone bought into Tommy Cutlets. Hey, for $75, you can go get a Tommy Cutlet autograph, which are now worth $1.98. And I still think that's too high. He is a practice squad player. He's a 3rd-string quarterback at best. And I'm saying at best, and that's being nice. He doesn't have the arm strength. When his mechanics break down, he does not have the ability to make those throws, stepping up into the pocket. He does. I keep saying he's Chad Pennington after the surgery. One thing that the one thing that he will do for you is he won't turn the ball over, but he's not going to give you any explosive plays. Boy, who does that sound like recently? Sounds like another quarterback that we have that we just gave $160 million. Of course, 90-something only guaranteed. But really, I mean, seriously. And people thought that this Linsanity, this Tommy Cutlet thing was gonna run forever. There was talk on Twitter, and I love it because all the people that were saying it on Twitter now are like, oh, we got to draft a quarterback. Well, just fucking 3 weeks ago, you were like, we don't need a quarterback now. Our quarterback room is set with Daniel Jones and Tommy DeVito. No, it's not. You watch his windup. He's got this wonky pitcher-like windup that exposes the ball. He's mechanically not sound. He's only 6 feet. He said he's 6'1". I think he's about 6 feet. He's undersized. He's undermanned. There's a reason why he transferred from Syracuse to Illinois. And then when Tyrod Taylor came in and actually threw the ball, like, I don't know, 50 yards in the air, people were like, oh, you can do that? Well, that's allowed? Well, it's not allowed when you have Daniel Jones, and it's not allowed when you have Tommy Burnt Cutlets. But at the end of the day, I don't understand why people believe so much. Texas, I believe Tommy DeVito agents also soured the locker room. I think Tommy DeVito's agent is not the most beloved. There is a lot of people in the NFL that have problems with Tommy DeVito's agent. And there's a lot of Mr. Bruce says, I'm speechless. There's a lot of people that are just like, they don't want to talk about him. Peyton Manning basically came out and said he's a dickhead, but in a nice way. I would say he's a dickhead, but that's just me. I'm not Peyton Manning. I don't have a career in broadcasting. I got a YouTube channel. But I just don't get it. I mean, like I said, there is a large segment of intelligent Giant fans that fell for this. And we kept pointing out the fact that most people are comparing it to Linsanity. Well, Linsanity was only about a month long. Everyone forgets that. As soon as the starters came back, as soon as Melo came back, Linsanity died, and then he had the knee injury, the meniscus that he probably could have came back from, but he didn't. And I'm not saying Tommy DeVito is not going to play again this year, but if you thought for any moment that he was going to be the guy in 2024 or hold down the fort while Daniel Jones got healthy, because the fort needs to be held down for Daniel Jones. Okay. But Daniel Jones can be back out of the way. And I love it because Joe Shane and his infinite stupidity. I'm starting to question Shane a little bit. Basically he said, well, Tommy DeVito can, he could hold down the fort until Daniel Jones is ready, no matter what quarterback we bring in. Really? Really? Is this the shit you're going to spew to me now? We got Daniel from Bear Sports Highlights saying, yo. Mr. Jackson says, this season was taught me 95% of the people don't know what they're talking about. Shit, I don't know what I'm talking about, but I know who to listen to and to make up your own mind. Yes, make up your own mind. I've said that a million times before, and people are like, I don't like your opinion and this and this and this. I don't care if you don't like my opinion. It's my opinion. And you should go out there and gather other opinions and other research by yourself and then make up your own mind. 100%. And that's what the intelligent fan does. Skyline says, but Tim, Jones will turn the ball over, so technically DeVito is better. All right, you got me on that one, Scott. Mr. Bruce, he's just speechless. Colin says, he's Italian, that anyway you say they are taller than they are. I mean, it was a nice 3. You beat a bunch of bad teams. You beat a bunch of offensively challenged teams that were just as, and you didn't like blow them out. And the nicest thing you can say about Tommy DeVito is he doesn't turn the ball over. But the nicest thing is if you get into a shootout, Tommy DeVito's not the guy. You got someone out there with a 44 Magnum and Tommy's got a pop gun. It's just not the guy you want. And that's not a slight him because he is what he is. A lot of people still have Daniel Jones TSGs. I doubt he will actually draft a decent development quarterback. I worry about Shane. We did a video today. I get concerned about Shane and his thought process and his draft selection, his trades, his free agents. If you literally go back and look through the roster, which he's kind of turned over from Gettleman, he signs all of Gettleman's guys, and people are like, well, look at all those great signings. Well, okay, he's a Gettleman guy. Dexter Lawrence, Gettleman guy. Saquon Barkley, Gettleman guy. Daniel Jones, Gettleman guy. Andrew Thomas, Gettleman guy. You sign all these guys, and then you're supposed to be like, well, you know what, he'll be fine. He signed all these great. No, he's just bringing in someone else's signings. When he gets the chance, he nailed Deonte Banks. 100%. But I think that had to do, honestly, I think Deonte Banks had more to do with Wink. Because Wink was looking for a certain style corner, like a Marcus Peters. And that's what he got in Deonte Banks. You know, he still have to figure out what he's going to do with Xavier McKinney. He's still got to figure out what he's going to do with Daniel Jones. He'll have 38 contracts next year. But the problem is this. You have 38 contracts next year, but you only have about $38 million in cap space. And you need to field a 52-man roster. 54-man roster, 53-man roster. I don't know what I'm talking about today. And that's with the rule of 51. So is he going to be able to come back and figure this out? Mr. Weaver says, I don't know if you catch it, Tim, but one of those plays that he had Barkley wide open calling for the ball, and he has to get rid of the ball and let the receiver make the play. 100%, I do remember that play. I remember that play a lot. I can't remember what sports reporter said it, and it wasn't a Giant beat writer because the Giant beat writers are just useless. There's like one good one, but the rest of them are just the rest of them are just talking heads for the Giants. They're useless. But one guy actually said, "Hey, yeah, he's leaving a lot of meat on the bone, Tommy," and that's when Tyrod came in, and we on the stream, we talked about maybe trying to get someone behind the defense against Philadelphia because of their banged up secondary. And I wasn't too over enamored with their safeties. That's what they did with Tyrod. They got someone past the defense and he actually hit him in stride. That's allowed. I'm asking that. I'm not asking that rhetorically. I'm asking, you're allowed to hit a player in stride in the passing game more than 40 yards down a field? That can't be right. What's up, Michael? Jones deranged syndrome is still a problem after 5 years. It's going to be one more year. We're going to have 6 years after that. Joey G, what's up? I listen to a lot of content creators, but I'm so happy that you agree with me on Shane. I've been saying this about Shane now off and on for about 6 weeks. We got a salary cap video coming out tomorrow, and I talk about some problems with the salary cap that we're going to have again in 2024. And you look at what he brings in, and you look at his talent evaluation. Now, the first draft, like I said, he came out and said, well, you really can't screw up the 5th and the 7th pick. Well, you might have. Because Kayvon plays when he wants to play. He disappears. I mean, they talk about, well, he had sacks in this many games, but then they're like, well, he also didn't have anything on the stat line for 6 games. And 7 of those 11 sacks came in 3 games. And 2 of those sacks came in the Seattle game, where he had 1 in the very beginning of this game and 1 at the very end of the game, and nothing in between. And then you get Ivan Neal, who now we find out will have to have ankle surgery and potentially could be moved to the guard position, to the interior position, and once they get rid of Bobby Johnson. Joe, what's up, Zach? Your old friend Big Pat said on Twitter, Big Pat's an idiot, said on Twitter, Jones is better than Lamar Jackson. Stop. That praise.
Get nothing. You lose. Good day, sir.
I'm wonking Big Pat just because he's a fucking idiot. If he's literally said that, then he is an idiot. Your friend of Big Pat said, Twitter, Jones is better than Lamar Jackson. Twitter exposes the worst of the people who shouldn't even be on social media. If you keep Jones, we are the new Jets. I love it because somebody on Twitter is doing like an NCAA tournament, 64 teams, and he's titled it the giant morons of Twitter. And I thought that was great. And I saw Big Pat was on there, Rob was on there, there's a bunch of other people on there. I think Zach, you sent it to me, Zach, and I thought that was great. I thought the bracket was great. And then I laughed because I commented to the guy. He said, "Well, how come I'm not on the list? This is the first time I didn't make a list. What the hell, man?" Joey G says, we need a quarterback. We need a quarterback in the worst way. And I don't know if it's gamesmanship from Shane this early. Could it really be gamesmanship this early to say that we're not bringing in a quarterback? Is it really gamesmanship? I'm trying to find this bracket. I got the bracket. Hold on. I'm going to put this bracket up because I don't even know half the people on this bracket. I know some of them, but I don't know a lot of these people in the bracket. And, let's do this like the NCAA tournament. Let's fill out the bracket. Let's fill out the bracket. Why not? We got to let's see if I can upload them. Oh, here we go. I do have the bracket. Here we go. Let's see. I don't have enough room to fill up the bracket. Let's see. Let's delete this layover. See, look at this. I'm very technically savvy today. Oh, wait, I got a new camera. Wait till January. Okay, here's the bracket. This is the giant Twitter moron madness. I loved it. I thought this was great. And like I said, I was more upset the fact that I didn't make the list because I always consider myself a moron. There's Big Pat right there. He should automatically go to the finals or at least the round of 4. Where's Rob? I see Rob up there too. Where's Rob? I saw Rob. Yeah, there's Rob. There's Rob's up there as well. And I know a lot of some of these other names I know. And whoever did this, Zach, if you just type in who did this, because maybe we can send him over to his page. I don't know if he's a YouTuber. I don't know if he's I don't know if he's just on Twitter. But let's give him some credit from that because I thought that was awesome. I thought that was great. Let's see here. Ho ho ho. Tim Stradamus. I love the Tim Stradamus too. Of course, that came from Fabian. That is one. We actually are going to be selling Tim Stradamus t-shirts. I don't have that. I wish I had that. Hold on. Let me see if I can. Oh, I'll get the Tim Stradamus up too. Look at me working here, man. Zach, I need a producer. You need to just like take over the channel and like this shit and do this because I can't make all this work. I don't know where Tim Stradamus went. It's around here somewhere. I'll have to find that later. But we got that bracket going on. We got Irish Rover in his house. What's up, Mr. Rover? Jersey Beaner says, Tim, I just want quarterback that could beat the goddamn Eagles and Cowboys. I want a quarterback that can be consistent. I want a quarterback that can be athletic. I want a quarterback that can be a 21st century person. I want a quarterback that can do the things that we need him to do. Hell,
because I like to think. I like to read. I'm into freedom of speech and freedom of choice. I'm the kind of guy who likes to sit in a greasy spoon and wonder, gee, should I have the T-bone steak or the jumbo rack of barbecue ribs with the side order gravy fries? I want high cholesterol. I want to eat bacon and butter and buckets of cheese, okay? I want to smoke a Cuban cigar the size of Cincinnati in the non-smoking section. I want to run through the streets naked with green jello all over my body reading Playboy magazine. Why? Because I suddenly might feel the need to, okay, pal? I've seen the future. You know what it is? It's a 47-year-old virgin sitting around in his beige pajamas drinking a banana broccoli shake singing, I'm an Oscar Mayer wiener.
and that sums up a lot of giant content creators. The end part. What's up, Mr. Hirsch? Coach Dave. This is the mega break draft offseason for Shane. But like I said, the video tomorrow is about when do we start questioning Shane? When is it theoretically allowed? Because we have heard before we had to give Gettleman extra time. We had to do all these things. But at the end of the day, you're going to go, and I thought about this, and it kind of bugged me a little bit. You're going into year 3 with Joe Shane. This is now be his 3rd year with the Cap. This will be his 3rd year in free agency. This will now be his 3rd year in the draft. And I'm not looking at all these guys that he's bringing in outside of Bobby Okereke. Let's be honest. Like I said, we talked about Bobby Okereke before. Bobby Okereke, nice signing, good signing, very good signing, but we overpaid for an off-the-ball linebacker. 100%. Look at what the Bears paid. We overpaid for an off-the-ball linebacker. Paris Campbell, nothing. Glowinski, nothing. You know, I mean, you're just bringing in guys, and we just don't have the wherewithal that they're just not hitting. Oh, let's see your Pip name Slickback. What's up, my brother? With a big old super chat saying, hey, Tim, I went shopping today and left my Tommy DeVito jersey in the window. Someone smashed the window and left me another Tommy DeVito jersey. I also asked, the other day, Pip, I said, you know, the people that paid the $75 for the Tommy DeVito autographs, do they get a refund? Do they get a free pie now with that? Matthew says, in Brazil now for the holidays, how was Christmas for you and yours, James? Everything's good. I had a good time. I think we all had a good time. James is in his house. I just saw Mr. James there as well. Oh, we got salute. There's the big James. What's up, James? Salute, my brother, says James. Michael says, better than Lamar Jackson. He's not even better than Tyrod Taylor. Zach, I'm going to question whether Big Pat said that. I need you to send me proof that Big Pat said that, because I feel bad calling him a moron if he actually didn't say that. Well, I don't really feel bad because he is one, but I would feel bad. Oh, Damian says, oh, I saw that. I love to save that list. I laughed so hard when I saw that list. I really did. Irish Rover, let's see here. To protect. What's up, my brother? If you don't draft a quarterback, this coaching staff, the GM will be gone next year. If you don't take a quarterback this year, and you have another season like this, Shane doesn't get another season. Here's the thing I've said before. If you take a quarterback this year and you play the rookie, if you're Shane and you have another 5-6 win season, you can go to Mara and say, well, listen, it's because of the fact that I played a rookie. You know, he needs another year to maturate. He needs another year to learn how to to move and fluctuate the offense. You know what he needs to do? He needs to
just keep matriculating the ball down the field, boys.
He's got to learn how to matriculate the ball down the field. But if you don't do that and you run it back with Daniel Jones, which you're going to have to because you owe him $68 million in a dead cap number, and it fails, then it's just going to get ugly, and it's going to get ugly quick. And I think that's what we need to worry about. But as Mr. Weaver says, my only problem with Wink is that he doesn't play his corners up on 3rd and 20. Told if we all might be, you know what the problem with Wink is? Wink thinks he still has the talent that he had those first 3 to 4 years in Baltimore. He doesn't have that secondary. He doesn't have those safeties. Oh my God, Isaiah Simmons. Someone put the Isaiah Simmons thing up, and it just killed me. It was like, well, he's got the lowest quarterback rating against him in his entire career, but they failed to mention that the quarterbacks are completing 81% of the passes against him for almost 9 yards a catch. And most of his receptions are on third downs, and I think like 60% of them go for first downs. Oh, great balls of fire. Hurst says we need more than a wink and a nod to get Jaden Daniels. I agree. I'm starting to kind of come around to Jaden Daniels a little bit. I keep watching more and more film, but I'm going back to Arizona and watching some of that film. And like I said, you watch the natural progression into his career. NJ Crush is going to be in the semis for sure. I'm not sure which one. Let's check though. Let's go to the banner here. NJ Crush. Who are they up against? Because like I said, they're up against I don't know who Tyler is in their bracket. I don't know who Tyler H15 is in the bracket. But they see, you know what, NJ Crush, if you look at it outside of Rob, I'm just joking, I love Rob. Like I said, they got a pretty easy shot to the final 8. So there is potential for NJ Crush, and I don't even know who they are. There's potential for them to get into the final 8. This is just like Selection Sunday. I love this. Let's see, Timmy, can you get an offensive line Bobby Johnson autograph before he gets to boot? Listen, Bobby Johnson has not fared well in this system, but it's unfair to criticize consistently Bobby Johnson because of the fact that the Giants haven't learned how to pick up a stunt in 5 years. This isn't anything new. This isn't anything different. And a lot of times, like I said, it's the Giants' modus operandi is this. First, you fire the coaches and the coordinators. Then you fire the head coach. Then you fire the general manager. They've done this going back to Jerry Reese. So I get worried that they're going to do the same thing again, look for different answers. I'm also worried the fact that if you have to bring in a brand new offensive coordinator and defensive coordinator next year, we're going to talk about that. Fabian says the problem with the fan base is they have such an attachment to these sorry coaches. I don't understand all that. I don't understand that. I can understand back in the day when you had an attachment because you didn't have free agency. But you know why? Because I know all and I see all. Oops. There we go. I found it, Fabian. There will be t-shirts and a mug. Actually, I made a mug for myself because I want to use it on the show. that was a creation by the big Fabian. James just having a good time. But guys, Daniel Jones is the only NFC. I love that too. That's another thing I saw. That's another shit I saw on Twitter. Daniel Jones is the only NFC quarterback to beat Lamar Jackson. That and $1. Yeah, but the other NFC quarterbacks like Dak and Jalen, all they do is go to playoffs. But we can say we beat Lamar though. We could say that. Let's see. Hirschreal said the armless man for the future has a better arm than Daniel Jones. I sent you the tweets. All right, let me go the tweets. I have Zach. It's not that I don't believe you, but I gotta see this. I literally, because I don't know, maybe I need a laugh. Let me see here. It's heavily implied that he thinks that he's better than Lamar Jackson. Let me see here. Let's see the one tweet. Hey, Giants, did you know 2 quarterbacks the same as success? Oh my God. Oh. All right, Zach just sent me the confirmation. Zach just literally sent me the confirmation that something we all knew, that Big Pat's a moron. So the armless man. Let's see. What was the armless man's name? He had a name. It wasn't just not in the TV series. I don't think he had a name in TV series, but he had a name in the movie with Harrison Ford and Tommy Lee Jones. If they run it back with DJ Daboll's, if they do that, they have to go. Bad Dog said the Giants couldn't have pick up the Suns since 2013. No, it hasn't been that far, and it hasn't been that far. I would say in the last 5 years, going back to the end of the Shermer era, and I think a lot of it has to do with the offensive line talent. Because you keep bringing in all these coaches and firing all these coaches. Did anyone just think that the talent you bring in kind of sucks? Like Matt from Connecticut? I don't think Joshua Zuza is going to be that great. Shane Lemieux. Pew Lemieux. That's his new name. Pew. And I also get concerned about, I'm getting concerned a little bit about JMS a little bit. Pink Name Slickbag says, has Carl Banks checked into Kayvon stats yet? Carl is a very busy man, but he does have the opportunity to come into the show.
Hey, Kayvon's awesome.
Of course, he doesn't want to look. Carl Banks is too busy selling starter jackets now. Carl Banks has evidently turned the corner, and now he wants to be a rap aficionado. I think he's been watching this show too much, and he's busy selling his starter stuff and going back to the when they did that poster. Actually, I have the poster too. The Bad Fellows poster. He's kind of gone back that way now. I've lost faith in Carl Banks. I've lost faith in Bob Papa. I've lost faith in Howard Cross. I lost faith in Howard Cross that game against Seattle when all he did was defend Daniel Jones. And to the poor point that I felt so bad for James. I thought James was literally going to blow a gasket because of the fact that he kept saying all this stuff and blaming everyone else. But then it turned out he never had any thought process of blaming the guy whose problem it was, which is the quarterback.
Hey kids, look over there. Who is it? It's Kayvon, the friendly pass rusher. Oh no, now he's gone.
It is Kayvon, the friendly pass rusher. Collins says, wait, I got it. DJ's athletic and he runs into the pass rushers. Let's convert him to guard and he can at least be useful for a cost. Oh my God. Fabian, without saying names, everyone knows the content creators that were back and forth with DJ. I want names. Fabian's trying to be politically correct. Everyone hates me anyways. I want names. Let's put the names in the chat. Let's put the faces to the names. So the names to the faces. Because people are sitting there always picking on me and people are always putting on my crap. It's Daniel.
Yeah, man,
No.
I find
What is wrong inside the cage?
I can't find my Malik Willis video. Malik Willis, but everyone's always picking on me for Malik Willis, and the poor guy is just facing a little bit of a racial epithet right now with the Titans. It's amazing though that when they drafted Willis, Ryan Tannehill wanted nothing to do with him. Nothing. He even came out and said, "I don't want nothing to do with the kid. Want nothing to do with him. I want nothing to do with the kid." They draft Will Levis, and all of a sudden he's a mentor to Will Levis. And then they're out of complete contention. So do you think they start Willis? Nope. Vrabel's like, nope. We're going back to we're going back to Ryan Tannehill. Sometimes you think the Giants have a issue with race. There are certain coaches and teams I think the same thing. Michael says Kayvon Thibodeau needs. No, they're not going to get rid. Kayvon is what he is. He's an undersized defensive end, and he's too slow, and he's not fleet of foot enough to be a linebacker. And I love him because when people say it's Parsons. He's like Parsons. No, he has the same amount of sacks as Parsons. If someone offered me, and I've said this to everyone before, if you sit there and they go, okay, Parsons, you have a choice. You have a choice. You could have Kayvon Thibodeau, you could have Parsons, you could have Bosa, or you can have Aiden Hutchinson. And I asked a lot of people that, and everyone picked everyone but Kayvon. And that should tell you something right there. Kayvon only plays hard when he wants to. I agree. We need a tight end all season. Is Evan Ingram available? No, Evan Ingram's having an actual Pro Bowl season. He may get 1,000 yards. Matt Barkley, of course, has now gone over to the Jacksonville Jaguars because of the shoulder issue with Trevor Lawrence. So the quarterbacks this weekend are going to be Tyrod Taylor and Tommy DeVito. And I have my doubts that Tyrod Taylor is going to make it through the game. Hertzfield says Tibbs needs a wingman on the other side. Tibbs needs, okay, you know what Tibbs, okay. If we want to be honest, you know what he needs? He needs a strong outside linebacker next to him, and he needs another defense. Yes, he needs a strong defensive end on the other side, 100%. And I wanted to draft Thibodeau. I go back and I wanted what's his name? I wanted the linebacker Devin, what was it? Devin Smith or Devin White? I can't remember. And I wanted Kayvon Thibodeau. I wanted Kayvon Thibodeau because I didn't believe the rumors that he took plays off and he was kind of lazy at times at Oregon. I didn't believe it. I actually talked to someone that was around the Oregon football team, and they said, no, he doesn't do that. So I still, like I said, I still think he's going to be a guy. I think it's fine. He's stuck at 11.5 sacks. But Carl has nothing to say.
Hey, he's got 11.5 sacks, man.
Yeah, but what has he done since? He hasn't done anything since. Let's see here. Howard Cross tried to blame the lady who had Mrs. Fields cookies. Howard Cross, I love Howard Cross, and I've talked to Howard Cross a bunch of times at Giant games over the years. Great guy, Howard Cross, really is. But he is the ultimate homer. I mean, he is beyond the ultimate homer. And the rationale after that Seattle game, after that really bad interception that basically cost the Giants the game, his thought process was, well, you know what? He'd been sacked a lot today, so it was only expected for him to throw an interception on the goal line and miss the guy that was wide open in the back of the end zone. Mr. Alvarez says, Jones is the tight end playing quarterback. Remember when people were sobbing for his knob for the catch? Oh, yeah, the greatest catch in the world. The greatest catch in the world. Everyone remember Matt Jones, the former Arkansas quarterback that went to play tight end / wide receiver with Jacksonville? That's what he should be like. Hey, behind the fiends, what's up? Sorry I'm late. Sorry I'm late. Work, you know. But it is does Dable look like he doesn't want to be here anymore? Body language and tantrums aside. So Dable's tantrums, we talked about this, and I've said this a lot. When you're winning, when you're 6-2, your tantrums on the sidelines, your non-decorum behavior with your coaches and your players, that's colorful. It's cute. It's endearing. But after you go 6-2 and only win 8 games over the next season and a half, those things become wearing, and then the media starts picking up on it, and then people in your locker room start picking up on it. Let's see. Mike Variable hates McWillis. I think Willis is. I think Variable's overrated as well. Malik has played like a half a game, and I've heard people say he's one of the worst quarterbacks in the history of the league. Yeah, I could actually name probably about 20 quarterbacks that are worse than Malik. Tibbs is a Chase Young. Chase Young. I will say this about Chase Young. Chase Young, from what I've seen in Washington, he actually plays hard. I don't think he's as talented as people thought he was, but he does play hard. Zach says, if the Bears came to you and the Giants and said, you give us a first and I'm not even going to answer the question. Yes. Yes, I will. No, I'm not going to give up a first for Fields. You can get Fields for like a third. Devin Lloyd, thank you. I couldn't think who it was. It was Devin Lloyd. Thank you. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Because I did it. Thank you. It was Devin Lloyd. That's the guy I did. Because I did a whole video. Because everyone's like, you kept saying you wanted to draft Malik Willis. I said no. I never said I want to draft Malik Willis. And they're like, well, you said you want to take him first of all. I said no. I never said I want to take him first of all. And I even showed people the video that I said I wanted to take Kayvon Thibodeau and Devin Lloyd. But people don't listen. What's up, Juan? Yo, Tim, I didn't get an alert about your stream. I just happened to see it on Twitter. Hope you're good, my bro. Everything's good. Yeah, something's going on with my Twitter account. Not my Twitter account. Something's going on my YouTube account. I don't know. Well, let's see. But welcome, Juan. Zach says, Colonel Banks called out Aziz for when Aziz tripped over Lane Johnson, but praised Thibodeau for a tackle in the end zone. I know, man. It's just the way it is. It is what it is. Jersey Beaner says, Strahan even picked the Eagles' unbelievable goddamn losing streak against the Birds. I know. I hope Texas makes it for Quinn Ayers declared. He's not going to declare in the draft, is he? I thought he was already coming back, or he's in the transfer portal. I don't remember. I don't remember because there's something that with him. I don't remember him. Let's see here. Let's see. Matthew, Twitter is a cesspool if real. Besides saying that he has the worst quarterback to play, people have already called him out. Coach Dave says Willie is definitely being racially discriminated. I never shy away from race. But if you look at the things that are going on in Tennessee, where they are is a predominantly African-American population. But for him to play Ryan Tannehill, and for him to say to Malik Willis, Vrabel, the second preseason game of his career, and Willis came out and acknowledges, and so did Vrabel, you are not allowed to leave the pocket. You are not allowed to do what makes you special, makes you do what you did at Liberty. You are not allowed to do that. There's a component there. I don't want to get into because we're not Tennessee Titans football, but there's a component there that you just, if I'm Willis, I just got to get the fuck out of Tennessee, because I think there's a racial component. Just kidding. Just kidding. James says, "Hey, Mike Glenn and Scott Farm are worse than Willis." I think Fields could do a good job for us. Maybe not great, but he could. I think Justin Fields can be built around. I do not think the Bears are taking Caleb Williams. I think they're going to trade that first overall pick and they're going to use their second first rounder. I think they're going to get, if you watch some of the things that Fields does, he does the things that Daniel Jones doesn't do. Justin Fields looks downfield when he's running. Good or bad or indifferent, the outcome, he looks downfield. And that's all I can ask for a quarterback. Tim, what do you think about Jaden Daniels? Listen, I wasn't on the Jaden Daniels train because the kid looks like a twig. You know, I did like Kyler Murray, even though he looks like Papa Smurf. But the kid looks like a freaking twig. It looks like a strong wind is going to break him in half. But you can't argue about what he's done on the field, and you can't argue about his attributes that he has. If they went, okay, I would only be upset if they took Drake May, JJ McCarthy. I think if they took Bo Nix, I think those are the guys that would make me upset. If they took Jaden, I wouldn't be upset. If they took Penix, I would still be concerned about the age and the injuries, and I'd be considered about that wonky windup he's got. But like I said, I'm not changing his throwing motion, but I am concerned about the 2 ACLs. But if that was their guy, I could understand. But I cannot. I mean, like I said, I hate when people say, "Well, he could make Drake May can make all the Sunday throws." Okay, that's great. But I also need Daniel Jones. At one point in time, I was told was the best quarterback against every all shorts team there was in training camp. And I kept telling people, and people kept telling me, "You don't know what you're talking about." I said, "Well, you know what the problem is." Anyone looks good when you go up against the all cones team and there's no rush. Look at the first live scrimmage. Look at the statistic Daniel Jones had. And I was there. And I kept telling people, is anyone else not seeing this? Why does sometimes I feel like I'm on an island? And it's not Revis Island. It's not Fantasy Island. It just shakes your head. He is not small. He is slight. He's just not a big guy. Why has the Caleb hype disappeared? I don't know why the Caleb hype disappeared. I would take if I had a choice. If you told me Caleb Williams or Jaden Daniels, I'm taking Caleb Williams. If they're both there, big guy, top-notch program, played in big moments, has got all the attributes. You want to talk about a kid that can make all the Sunday throws? That's Caleb Williams. This is one of those guys, like I was saying, he's one of those guys, look at him, he can stop on a dime and give you 9 cents change. That's what so I'm not saying Jaden can't do that, but I'm saying if you are giving me one, if I have a choice, let's say we pick 5 and both are sitting there, I'm going Caleb Williams, and I'm doing it 9 out of 10 times. The 10th time I might be drunk, and I misspelled Jaden. I misspelled Caleb Williams with J. I think there's a Y somewhere. Caleb Williams. That's the only time I would do it. Rather draft Jaden Daniels and trade. I'm just saying if it's not available, if the Bears decided to take Caleb Williams and they said you could have Justin Fields for a 3rd rounder, I am taking Justin Fields. I'm not even thinking about it. Zacatech says, Waller cost the Giants a chance at 3. I think it was 2 plays, and Taylor played okay, not great, not bad. The Eagles let the Giants back in the game. If it wasn't for the special teams and the bad interception, yeah, it was a blowout. It would have been a blowout. But it was like he burned off 13 seconds. Waller, if you're hurt, get off the fucking field. Go to the sidelines. Crawl your ass over to the sidelines. You know you have no timeouts, and you know if you get a penalty, it's going to be a runoff. Jaden Daniels equals Tyrod Taylor in a smaller stature. No, I think Jaden's got more talent. Mr. Roberts says the Bears are going to trade number 1 pick to the Giants and return to the Bears by letting them take Justin Fields. I would do that. The only Fields I want is Mr. Fields cookies from Howard Cross. I'm telling you, man, I think James was literally going to come through the roof The way he was, the way that Howard Cross was going that game. I was concerned for Howard Cross. Do you think we trade Tibbs, get the picks? No, we can't trade Tibbs because of the salary implications. We're not gonna be able to do that. We're not gonna be able to trade him until we're getting more towards the end of his contract. Jason's Daniel Jones quarterback class has turned out to be horrifically awful. Yeah, exactly. And he's just as bad. Drake May can make all the Saturday throws against top teams when there's nothing to meanings. Jay Swartz, the underwear Olympics. That's what it is. It's the underwear Olympics. Daniel Jones was the king. Mike Mamula, king of the combine. Greatest combine warrior there was. Looks like Tarzan, played like Jane. Drake May can make all the Wednesday throws. Time to put the sauce back in the fridge. Tommy DeVito era is over. He cut a deal with Rayo sauce, and I like Rayo sauce. I actually make my own sauce. But if you're in a pinch, the Rayo sauce is actually pretty good. But he cut a deal with them, to make the Tommy cutlets. Well, I think that deal's over. I think the deal's done. Drake May is you know what? Actually, that's a good point. I do think Drake May is a perfect fit for New England. Matthew says Jones can make all the practice squad throws. Let's see. What's big brother James said? Let's hope the Caleb train runs slow right down where we pick. Mr. Alvarez says all the attitude and issues and deep attitude talk is why Caleb is losing hype. I agree. I agree. Mr. Tyrod comparison wasn't in talent, but it's in stature. Yes, they do compare that. Big task at hand says, how you doing, sir? Hope all is well. I hope your holidays are great. I actually haven't seen you in a while, Big Task. Everything's been good. Everything's been going well. Jay says DJ is the best quarterback eval. Daniel Jones probably. Behind the Fiend says, hated the Waller trade then, even more now. Should have kept Ingram. Ingram was never going to stay. I think I was one of the few content creators that came out and against the Waller trade. And everyone just saying again, well, you're just being pessimistic. You're just being mean. But you looked at it, you're like, okay, he's 2 years removed from a good season. He's had hamstring issues for the last 2 years. And anyone knows anything about a hamstring, because when you get older, the hamstring issues are what they refer to as reoccurring. He's got one of the highest contracts in the league for a tight end. The Raiders are in a rebuild. They got rid of their quarterback. They brought in the Garoppolo. Did anyone? I mean, was there any more red? And then you had to hear, well, they only traded him because he didn't invite Josh McDaniels to the wedding. I remember doing the video going, what the hell are people talking about? I mean, honestly, what are people talking about? Trade Jones for Jones, Daniels for trade a Jones for a Jones, Daniels for Mac. I'm confused on that one. Trade Aziz. Matthew says, I'm convinced now Gettleman was the Robert Kraft mole. He destroyed the organization from inside, literally after 2000. Here's my thing about Dave Gettleman. Dave Gettleman's gone. This is now the Joe Shane fiasco. This is now the Joe Shane mess. We're gonna have a new soundbite. It's gonna be blame it on the Shane. We're gonna have to have a new blame it on the Shane sound effect, because there's no more Gettleman. All Shane wanted to do was sign Gettleman's guys, pick his own guys. But the problem is, after he did that, he didn't really come forward with anything else. Who's sending me messages? Don't send me messages on Twitter when I'm busy working. I'm busy working. Yes, I'm still upset. Yeah, I am still upset that I'm not on the top 20. I'm not on the top 64 moron board. I have to admit that. I sent out my displeasure to the guy that created the thing. I did send out my displeasure. I'm not going to lie. I did tell him I was upset that I didn't make the Sweet 16 or 64. Waller hasn't played a full season since forever, 100%. Zach says, what do you think of Wink doing an I formation on defense with Dexter 10 yards off the ball? I don't remember that play. I actually don't remember that. Trade Jones for Mac Jones. I trade Jones for a Big Mac. Zach Attack says, do you think Dable is acting a bit like Josh McDaniels with the hot-headedness? I think Dable wants to act like Belichick. But the problem is, or maybe even Parcells, but it'd be more Belichick because more people are going to remember Belichick. There's only a couple of us old timers around here that remember how Bill Parcells used to be with the press. But I think he's trying to be Belichickian. But the problem is you can't be Belichickian if you don't win. That's the problem. Roy says, happy holidays from Indian Land. Oh, Indian Land, South Carolina via the South Bronx. Is that anywhere near Indian Wells? Roy, I'm just asking. Enough is enough. Joe and Dable gots to go. I don't think they got to go yet. Here's my thing. And I'm going to keep saying this. I don't think they don't forget to hit the like button. I don't know why I keep forgetting to say it. Hit the damn like button. Just it doesn't take much effort. There's a button that says like. It looks like one of these. You push it, and that's what you're done. But I don't think it's time yet to let them go. You got to give them this year because we can't get rid of them after 2 years. I get worried that Dable might drive himself out of town, kind of like Judge did. Judge was fine until Judge went stupid. He was fine. But I don't think he wanted to be head coach anymore. Matt said, do you think it's possible that Mara is using Shane as a puppet? Anything's possible. You were like, well, when he hired Dable, everyone was like, well, he hired his guy. Dable was not my first choice. I think everyone knows who my first choice was. Former Miami head coach. Sued the Giants. Ended up suing the Giants. But we're not going to talk about it because we don't want to get involved in a lawsuit. He was my choice as head coach. So when he got his guy, Shane, got to bring his own guy. People were like, well, he's making his own decisions. But then I get worried that because I do think that, yes, I do think Mara was involved in the Jones decision because you're not going to give a guy $160 million. Yeah, it's only 90 something guaranteed, but you're not going to give him $160 million without the approval of the owner. So I do think there's kind of something there. Mr. Roberts says, I think Gettleman fraud is the master of disguise because his bad decisions are still carrying over with the so-called new GM. He might be right. Behind the Fiend says, remember the Gettleman team went to the playoffs and the Shane team can't win 6 games. Yeah, I do remember the Gettleman team went to the playoffs. Gettleman, who was part of the organization that went to Super Bowls. Fabian says, let's see here. That's what they need. Parcells, Coughlin kind of coach. I don't think the Parcells, Coughlin, Belichick coach plays well anymore. I think the modern athlete is very much a different breed of athlete. And now everything that's going on with college and the money and everything you can do, I think it's going to be you need to have a different breed of coach. Not like the nut in Miami. The head coach in Miami is just a nut. He's calling out Dan Marino. It's like calling out Don Shula. You're calling out a Miami legend. You haven't done anything yet. You haven't even won a playoff game. So you're being a little nutty. But I think that's the kind of direction. Same thing, you look at the coach with the Rams. I think they're going that way. Matthew says, I can't accept that Shane thought it was a good idea to give Jones the extension. 10 minutes with Charlotte, North Carolina. That's where it is. That's where Indian Wells is. I knew where it was. I played golf there. That's why I was asking. I always forget where it was. See, I get confused now. I like Gettleman fraud as the master of disguise because his bad still just carrying over his new GM. Remember, you're right. You can't win. We talked about that. The DJ contract. I think the salary cap in some regards made him do it because he couldn't give DJ $32 million guaranteed without wrecking his cap. But the problem is, if you really thought he was the guy, he took less money, Jones did, for 2023, but he's going to kill you in 2024. That's why I said if the Jones experiment fails, we're not going to be good till 2025, 2026. More likely 2026. And the Jones experiments imploded this year. So I think there were other factors in regards to him signing Jones. I don't think it was the right decision. I think you could have got rid of Jones. I think you could have signed Barkley. I think you could have bring in someone like, you could have brought in Mariota. You could have brought in Trubisky. Hell, you could have brought in a Baker Mayfield. They're talking about giving Baker Mayfield big money in Tampa because he's having a good year. He's having another good year. What is Jay said? The Giants don't draft a quarterback. The entire Giants go 10-7 and have a first round playoff exit. Would you fire Shane and Dable? No, because then they made the playoffs again. But am I going to run it back with Jones for year 7? I don't know. That's getting a little too crazy. I'm worried that I'm worried, and I have a salary cap video coming out tomorrow. I am worried. What's going to happen is that they are going to, because of the fact that we have limited cap space in some regards, they are going to turn around and restructure Jones's contract to give him more guaranteed money in 2025, and we're gonna run 7 years with Daniel Jones before we finally get rid of him. Zach Attack says, if Dable fires Wink and Cafferty, do you think they replace them? I haven't been a fan of Wink because of his scheme doesn't fit in the NFC, in my opinion. Fool's gold, common, that's foul. Typical fickle New York opinion. No, it's not a foul. I think the problem with Wink is he runs his own system. And sometimes his system doesn't fit the pieces that he has. He had to be more like Steve Spagnuolo, even going back to when he was out in Kansas City. You got to change with the guys that you have. You're not going to run NASCAR in Kansas City because you just don't have the guys. Let's see here. Fool's gold, common, that's foul. Typical fickle New York opinion. How's a typical New York opinion? He was pyrite. I said that from the moment that he won his first game. It's pyrite. It's fool's gold. Let's see. When you mix friends and business, it doesn't end up well. It never does. My guy was Sean Payton to come back home. Sean Payton, of course, went over to Denver. I think Denver's got their own problems, but it looks like they're going to get rid of Russell Wilson. The Giants don't draft a quarterback. The Giants get 10-7. You have first round exit. Would you? No, I said I would keep him already. Lamar says, yeah, Wink scheme doesn't fit our defense, and the offense is trash. That's the problem. He doesn't fit the personnel that he has. And I think Wink's biggest issue at times is his failure to recognize that he doesn't have the components to run the system. The Giants play better, and they've gotten away from it a lot recently when they don't blitz as much. They literally play better. But the problem is Wink is stubborn to the fact that he's almost like he's going to make it work. And when you don't have the components that you had in Baltimore, you don't have that secondary you had in Baltimore. You don't have those 2 Pro Bowl corners and a Pro Bowl safety like you had in Baltimore and a pass rush. Things get kludgy quick. Has anyone seen Trey Hawkins anymore? The head coach of Miami is a good fit. He is a good fit for Tua, but he is a nut. I think Mara used for Jones to stay. I think he pushed for Jones to stay too. I do think he did. Fabian says, that's my point. The New York regime cannot go modern coach. It just won't work. I think it can work. I do think it can. We got a phone call. I do think it can work. But I don't think it's going to be a great fit for Mara. It might work more if Tish takes a little bit more of the reins. I think then it might work a little bit more. Miss Roberts says, I would have, let that bum walk and come back with his tail between his legs when no one wants. Oh, yeah, that's what you should have did with Daniel Jones. You should have said, here you go to the open market. I talked to multiple people, 2 that were still in the league, and they said the same thing. No one's going to offer Daniel Jones more than like $12 million. But the Giants didn't want to roll the dice. Sometimes you got to be a gambler. Matthew says, what does Matthew say? Do you think Mara has learned from this year, or do you think they continue to be in denial? Honest assessment. I think they're going to be in denial. Bring Belichick back home. Belichick's like 197. I don't know how old Belichick is. I know Belichick is old. I was young when Belichick was old. That's how old Belichick is. Belichick, you got to remember, Belichick's been coaching with the Giants. He started coaching with the Giants in the early 80s. I just don't think Belichick has the stamina right now. If it was Belichick 10 years ago, yeah, I'd bring him home. Matthew, Belichick is 72 next year. You don't want to build a team around a fossil. Good point. Lamar says we need someone. This shit is a shit show. It's a clown show, and it's just gonna get worse and worse. And I mean, honestly, it just doesn't. It's you want to have this faith. You want to have this undying belief in the Giants. And I'm a season ticket holder, and I don't. So that should be a worry, is what it is. Tim, honestly, how much more of this 10 years can you take? I can't take anymore, man. I really can't, man. I really can't take anymore. I mean, every time I think that they're gonna turn the corner, we are gonna have a multiple season run. You know, you bring back Daniel Jones, and it's just.
That's great. That's just fucking great, man. Now what the fuck are we supposed to do? We're some real pretty shit now, man.
And that's what we're doing again. We're going to run Daniel Jones back for year 6. I don't know how much, you know, I forgot who it was. And they texted me, and they basically said, it was a subscriber. I can't remember who it was. And they texted me, and they were like, Tim, you just look like you're over it. I'm like, I kind of am. Skyline says, I think Wink is fine. His defense gets overexposed because the offense can't do anything. I think Wink is fine when he understands the flow of the game. If you go back to the 40-point loss to Dallas did not have a juggernaut of offense with the stats they had. They really didn't. What they did do is expose Wink's defense and pick on the rookie corner. Like I said, Cooks at one point had Hawkins turned around so much that I was so glad that Dak didn't throw him the ball. Dak instead ran for like 20 yards, but he could have thrown the Cooks like 15 times that game. Hey, what's up, Protected? Do you think the Giants go back to the 4-3 defense if they fire Wink? Here's the problem with that. And I kind of think about this a little bit. If you even go back to Belcher's defense. Belcher's defense was more of a mixture of formations. You ran so many things. If you're going to go with the base 4-3, your first 2 problems are this. Or your first 3 problems. All you have is Dexter in the middle. I'm not sure about Jordan Riley. I'm not sure about DJ Davidson. Ashawn. I think Ashawn is what he is now. I don't think he's going to be around. And I'm not a big fan of Nacho. So you're not going to have another defensive tackle. And who are you going to put on the other side of Kayvon Thibodeau? And you have a good inside linebacker with Bobby Okereke, but I don't know if McFadden is stout enough to play on the same side as Kayvon. I don't think that would be. I think that part of the line would be attacked exponentially. And then the other process is who is going to be your other linebacker, your other outside linebacker, to help maintain containment on the 4-3 with whoever's going to be your true defensive end. You're not bringing back Jahadi Ward. No, you're not. He's not going to be your defensive end. You don't really have a true defensive end on this team that has any sense of ability. So it's weird, though. You're better off running the 3-4 because you could bring your safeties in as quasi linebackers and play them in the box. So even though they're not listed as linebackers, you do the same thing you did with Logan Ryan and with Peppers and McKinney and everything else. You put them in the box, and you give them that opportunity to be quasi linebackers, quasi coverage linebackers, and you help cover up the deficiencies of the linebacking core you do not have. And then you worry about if Dory Jackson's not in contract next year, you're going to have Banks and Blank on the other side, and you potentially could be not bringing back Xavier McKinney. And even if you bring back Isaiah Simmons, if you look at his statistics in the passing game, they're not that great, except they'll say that he has the lowest quarterback rating against him is 89.1. But they don't talk about his 80% completion rate, his not giving up 9 yards of play, and 60% of the plays that he does give up go for first downs. But we don't want to mention those things. Jay says the Giants, Saquon was touched by the hand of God, a true Yellow Jacket player. I hope he gets his 1,000 yards. I hope he gets the hell out of here. Mr. Kiona says John Mara will not allow Joe to draft a quarterback this year. I hope he does. I hope he gives him that opportunity. Colin says Wink has the same problem Belcher had when he was here. He's married to his system. See, but here's the thing with Belcher, though. Belcher played multiple fronts. That's what I liked about Belcher. He was not a great defense quarterback, but he played multiple fronts. Same with Patrick Graham. He played multiple formations. And I think that if you're going to do that, you need to have a strong enough secondary to cover some of your deficiencies in your second level in your linebacking core. But the problem is, like I said, Kayvon's not stout enough against the run. Unless you're going to permanently put him in that 4-3 defensive end position, and you're going to have another hole alongside Dexter Lawrence. Funky question. Such a good vibration. Funky question. Who was better in their prime? Sanchez. Sanchez. Sanchez went to 2 AFC championship games. That's not even a funky question. Jay says $100. Says Mara's waiting on the Archie Manning cause. I think a lot of people. Omega. What's up? Omega Supreme is here. Hold on. I got it. Where? You know what? When my problem is Dom never labeled the soundboard when he was here 2 years ago.
Autobots, roll out. We roll.
We got Omega Supreme here with the Rod. What's up, Tim? What's up, fellas? I and I just wanted to wish everyone happy holidays. I'll be celebrating my birthday tomorrow and wanted to say hi to my G-Man family. Happy birthday to Omega Supreme. I hope you have a good day tomorrow. Happy birthday to Omega Supreme. Belichick was also exposed after Tom Brady. His record subpar. I mean, right. Well, you look at the fiasco he had in Cleveland. Belichick. He's just not an easy guy to get along with if you're not winning. He's kind of like Brian Dable. Zacatech says, "What is your opinion of the Giants starting Tommy DeVito, Tarrant over Tommy DeVito? Also, the quarterbacks with the T in the name of the Giants are better than Daniel Jones." I think it's the right decision. You got to try to win. You're not. I mean, what you're grooming Tommy DeVito to hold the clipboard? I mean, he looks good doing it, man. I mean, like I said, look, man. This is my clipboard. Look at this. I can do it. Here, I got my clipboard. Well, it's actually giant ping pong balls, but look, it's my clipboard. Look at me. Look, I can do it. You don't even need to pay me that much. I'll take 450,000. Lamar says he is old. If not him, then who? Let's get a guy in here really with his team is a nightmare. That's a good question. I mean, I still want Jim Harbaugh, but Harbaugh's not leaving Michigan. Jay said they should have never let him play after the neck injury. It was obvious he had little to no control over his throwing. I do believe that they brought Daniel Jones. I did a video today about questioning some of the decisions that Dable made with injuries. And I do think they brought Daniel Jones back too early. He didn't look right in the Raiders game. He did not look right. And I don't know if it was the neck injury, but I see Mike Vrabel is trending. Maybe it's because I just called Mike Vrabel a racist. But he just didn't look right. There was something off that game. And I don't think one had anything to do with the other in reference to the ACL. Because it looked like more of a non-contact injury than anything else, but it was on a grass field. So it's the turf's fault. But that's, I don't know. Fabian says, think about 6 years older and the same O-line garbage. Yes, 6 years. It's been 6 years. This team isn't a nightmare, fam. That's the Panthers. So yeah, the Panthers at least maybe have a quarterback. Behind the Fiend says, I've been a Giant fan since LT's rookie year. The Mariners hate change, and when the rest of the league adjusts, they still try to hold on to the past. It's killing a legacy franchise. You know what's funny? You bring that up. I am a little bit before LT's rookie year, and I can tell you, you have to remember this. The Giants back in the day under Parcells and George Young made a lot of and even not really under Parcells, but then it was under Dan Reeves and a few other people. The Giants made tough decisions. The Giants probably held on to LT too long because of who he was, but then they still knew it was time for him to retire. They got rid of Phil Simms after a Pro Bowl season. They dumped Carl Banks. They got rid of Mark Bavaro because he did go on to play a couple. He did play on to play a couple more competitive years in Philadelphia. But when they got rid of Joe Morris. when it was time to move on from players back in the 80s and the late 90s, the Maras, and of course it was more Wellington, they were able to separate themselves from the business end and the personal end. Wellington always says, once a giant, always a giant. But once you no longer could perform, or they thought you were an injury liability, they got rid of you. They did it with Leonard Marshall. I mean, they did it with a lot of great guys. McFadden is undersized. True story, Tim. Thank you. True stories. The Giants need to get a real defense end for free agency from the draft and make Kayvon a rotational piece. And Johnny Ward is better than Kayvon. He does play better. You got one thing you could say about Ward is this: he's got a motor. Dude's got a motor. You want to take Ward's heart and motivation and put it into Kayvon Thibodeau's body, then you got something there. Fabian said, "Who in here has seen the last Giants Super Bowl?" Smart money is, Mrs. Matthews, they pay Daniel Jones and let him walk after next year. That's a huge if. It is a huge if. It is huge. What's up, Swing Culture? What's up, my brother? Peace, Tim. Happy holidays. What's going on, my brother? I miss Peppers, too. Peppers looks good at times in New England. Jay says, Banks going to be a Pro Bowl. I think Deontay Banks is going to be I do think he is going to be a Pro Bowler. It's funny, though. At times, the way he's playing now, you think he could be a Pro Bowler this year. I don't want to say anything. It's because he was hanging out with me. Banks was hanging out with me. So, I mean, when we hung out together, I gave him a lot. I gave him a lot of tips from my former playing days. And I don't want to say it's all me, but it's all me. Let's see. Matthew said, I saw 2007, 2011. Was too young to see 90. Let's say it's time for the legend of Boogie Basham to be the edge of the Boogie Basham just needs to go. Boogie, you put I think of I just keep thinking of the old Saturday Night Live skit with Eddie Murphy with the put some boogie in your butt. Boogie's just gotta go. So put a little tiny man in your butt. Oh my God. That was Saturday Night Live at one point in time was actually cutting edge. Wide right was magic in 1990, says my brother James Williams. Zacatech says QBR is useless unless it's a made up stat by ESPN, and Ryan Leaf had a perfect QBR. Oh, wait, I lost connection there for a minute. J Sports Card says Antonio Pierce is for the defensive coordinator if he doesn't keep the Raiders. Oh, the Raiders are going to keep Antonio Pierce. James Belcher, you mean from the Cardinals? Yes, that's what I meant. Yes, thank you, Zach. Always keeping me in line. Roy says, come on. Facing blue face smiling. Oh my God. I'd rather have Mark Sanchez. I would rather have Mark Sanchez too. Antonio Pierce will be a great head coach. Antonio Pierce is going to be head coach next year. Powerball jackpot tonight is $700 million. I'm going to play the Powerball tonight. I will go out and get a ticket unless I can't now. It's too late. But if they do not pick a Powerball winner tonight, I will go out and get a ticket for the next Powerball. And if they win, I will buy the Giants. Let's see. Lamar says Jim would be I think Jim Harbaugh will be awesome. Look at what he did with the 49ers. I mean, I didn't agree with what he did with the Alex Smith switch with the Colin Kaepernick, but you can't argue with the results. Let's see. Harbaugh may leave Michigan if the NCAA issues a 2-year suspension. I did see that. Joseph says next year when we finish 8-8, well, you can't finish 8-8 because there's 17 games. With Jones, Merrill be impressed and give Jones a 7th in a year 8. Let's hope not. Leaving the players in the game that are hurt has been a big issue. I don't understand Dable with that. I don't understand the Andrew Thomas thing. I don't understand bringing back Evan Neal. I don't understand Daniel Jones. I don't understand keeping Daniel Jones as long as he did in blowouts. I don't get it. It's almost like he's punishing people at times. The Giants, let's see. The Giants had Tom Landry and Vince Lombardi on as coordinators at one time. So the Packers, they owe us. I'm Gumby, damn it. I don't think they're going to owe us. I don't think they're going to pay us anything, but you are right. We did have Landry and we did have Vince back in the 50s. Yes, we did. This team is a nightmare, to be honest. We have so many holes on this team that it's been years and we're still rebuilding. It's a rebuild of the rebuild of the rebuild of the rebuild. We're still rebuilding. Banks joined the cult of Tim. Well, here's the problem, though. Like I said, I also put the whammy on Eric Gray. Why? I'll accept you in a minute. I put the whammy on Eric Gray. Hold on. I whammied Eric Gray as well. So, and I don't want to say anything because I also whammied my my nephew, JMS. I don't want to say anything of that either. So you got to make sure I whammied all of them. So only one that worked out was Deontay Banks. I'm gonna take full credit for that. I'm Gumby, damn it. Another great one. Skyline says if Dable leaves next year, they will get Antonio Pierce as head coach. Once a Giant, always a Giants. You should replace King of the Almost Sack button with Walla Walla wallpaper. Oh my god, I can never get rid of this button.
King of the Almost Sack.
Don't forget to hit the like button. You got to hit the like button. The fiend behind the fiend says, if I were Dable, I would go on the phone trying to bring in Lamar Jackson. Excuse me. Oh my God, I will call you right back. If I were Dable, I'd go on the phone and try to bring back Leftwich for the offense coordinator. This guy is tough. 2000 GMC ball, broken legs, seem to play hard at the position all the time. We've talked about the toughness of Brian Leftwich. That they literally, I used to have the picture though. They literally carried him out of the huddle, and he came back and took his team to score a touchdown. Just another day, guys. All right, guys, the Knicks are on. I don't want to cut out early, but the Knicks are on. I do want to catch Knicks. I do appreciate everyone for hanging in and hanging out. We got the Big Two-Toe super chat saying Tim Big Boss Belichick is old. Moses referred to him as one of the best tour guides in the Red Sea Miracles. History tellers. On that note, we are going to close it out today, guys, because I do want to go catch the Knicks because I forgot the Knicks were on. The Knicks, of course, are playing. Again, this is Tim, this New York Giants, powered by Online Big Blue LLC. Appreciate everyone. And check out the new video tomorrow. Sponsored by partnered by our favorite people over at Magic Mind. Make sure you check that out. And again, I'm out of here, guys. See you later.